Hey y'all, I just want to come on here and go over the fact that I didn't realize just saying cut back what you're eating could actually be more difficult than what it is. And it's probably because it's hard to wrap your brain around something that we've been told our whole entire lives. Through fad diets, through the new ones coming through that if you really remember back in the day there was someone else who did the same thing, it's just a little different. So I just didn't get it. um, and it's not that it's difficult, and it's not that it's hard to follow. It's just that because of the way we've been conditioned to have our relationship with food and our relationship with our diet, and the fact that everything revolves around our looks and how small we are and the way we eat, I guess that's probably where it becomes difficult, because we're taught at a young age, really. You don't want to get too fat. You don't want to overeat. You don't want to look like that person, do you? And my eyes are going to be everywhere because, well, I'm talking on the home computer video rather than in my car. And I guess that once you're following it, and once it hits you, and once you start losing that weight and it's easy, like instead of hard, instead of having to write down everything you eat, instead of having to calculate everything, you just eat and you live and you're happy. It becomes more simple. And then you're like, why didn't I think of this? Um, and it's basically because it's not a diet. My mama has always said, diet is nothing but die with a T. That's it. Because when you're on a diet, you're starving, you're hungry, you're grouchy, you can be a downright bitch. I mean, I just tell you straight. Like, and when you look back, you're like, God, why was I so mean? Because you was hungry. You take out your carbs, you take out your sugar, you take out your fat. Okay, well, no fat. That can make your hair fall out. Um, it can make your complexion look really, really horrible. No carbs can make your brain completely just, you feel like a dummy. Like you can't think. And, no sugar. Well, we need a little bit of sugar. That's why things turn into sugar. It's just we don't need that overload of sugar. Every now and then, you know, dig out. Tomorrow's another day. Start over. When it happens, don't feel guilty because tomorrow is another day. And tomorrow's another day that you can start over. And sure, tomorrow might not come. But, well, then you don't have to worry about it, right? So, you know, it's kind of like, and I might be showing my age, but when you start that diet and your stomach's growling and you're sitting at lunch and you're eating that freaking rice cake, and all you do is you look at everyone else's meal and your mouth is watering, and even the person who reheated the fish in the microwave, okay, in the cafeteria, that normally would turn your stomach, you're wanting to eat some of it. Okay, that should tell you right there you need something more to eat. That's not fulfilling you. And I guess that's where I have a problem with the weight loss surgery is the fact that if you love to eat, you are not going to be able to survive on a milkshake a day. I've heard of, and they might just be horror stories, I don't know. Again, it might just be people talking. But, I've heard of people getting the weight loss surgery and then they have to liquefy their food if they want to eat it after. I know that eventually they say, oh, you can eat regular eventually. Okay. I've known plenty of people to get the weight loss surgery and then gain that weight back. I don't think they do the staples anymore. They might. But, there's people who went back to the way they were eating excuse me, went back to the way they're eating, and they gain all the weight back. They pop stitches. They die from it. And without the proper nutrition, if your vitamin levels are messed up at all, it's going to mess you up mentally. It's really no way to live, especially if you like to eat. And I guess that's where my thought process came. And it came from a lot of what Mom said. You know, you just cut back what you're eating. You watch portion sizes. And it really sounds quite simple when you're saying it or you've been following it. But, and it's still easy to relapse. You know, you have stress that happens, and you have those what I think, because I am opposite, fortunate souls who get stressed out and they don't eat, and the weight falls off. And then you have people like me who is very opposite. Get stressed out, I get hurt, I get angry, and I eat my emotions so that I don't show them, I don't express them. And in those, you know, situations, you've got people who get stressed out and they gain weight, and then you have people who get stressed out and lose weight. Both are equally bad, but, you know, from both side points, you know, it's one of those, you know, I wish I had that color hair. I wish I didn't have freckles. You know, we always want what we don't have. So, especially as women, we are so jealous of each other. And we judge one another so harshly. It's just, it's awful. So, you know, you got to kind of think of it like this. There's a lot of diets. All of them are now saying it because you've got the antioxidants and so forth. You know, you eat the dark chocolate. And the darker the better. Because it's good for you. Well, to me, so if this is not you, more power to you, honey. But for me, dark chocolate tastes just like that baker's chocolate that, you know, you beg your mom to eat. And she's like, it's really gross. It's very bitter. Now it's some chocolate. And she gives you some. And you're like, it's just disgusting. That's what it tastes like to me. If I have to put peanut butter on chocolate to eat it, is it really worth eating? I mean, really. I guess if you're following the fad diets that follow that, okay, sure. It's something you can have that's a little sweet. But then again, even though it's better for you, you can't get the regular jar of peanut butter. You've got to get the more expensive one that's just crushed up peanuts and salt. Which kind of like, why is that more expensive? You know? And it is something that you realize is that it's, you know, it's not that all healthy food, because you can get some. You can get beans, sure. But they hike up the prices on things that are supposed to be better for you. Because we're all on diets all the time. So that's where, you know, that's where I said, you know, if you want the cheeseburger, eat it. Instead of getting the double, get the one patty. After a while, half will fill you up. When you go out to a restaurant, you know, eat half the food, take the other half home. Put it in the refrigerator. You have lunch tomorrow. You know, unless it's the fish. And honeys, please, please leave the fish at home. It really does stink up the whole cafeteria, but we love you. We do, and that's why we don't tell you. But it's, I don't know, to me, it's like if you're going to sit there and you're going to crave the milk chocolate and you're going to crave the white chocolate, instead of getting to a point where you're eating like the big bar of chocolate, just freaking like eat some chocolate. Get a couple little, you know, break a couple off. Get the miniature sizes. Because all we're doing is tearing ourselves down. Mentally, physically, our metabolisms are so messed up. And all that's connected to our adrenal glands, which has to do with stress. And if you do your research, once your adrenal gland, you know, the cortisol that causes the belly fat. But once you've been under so much stress, your metabolism has been so messed up for so long, like if your adrenal gland stops, you can't live without it. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, is the fact that, and I think that's why it's so hard for some people to wrap their head around. You don't have to write anything down unless you want to. You don't have to measure anything out unless you want to. I would suggest, as far as going by serving sizes, that you, when you're first starting out, use the scoop, put it into a bag, and then eventually you can pour, let's say, the snack or whatever into the bag and know. You know, it's, if the box of crackers says 3, you eat 3. The cauliflower crackers at the Aldi, you can eat a whole lot more. I usually eat half. But if you're that hungry, eat the portion size. Because I will almost 100% say you're eating twice that. So if you're eating twice and you cut it down, you're going to lose weight. You get off the sodas. Diet, regular, you're going to lose weight. That's that corn syrup and that sugar and all that crap we really don't need. And I know they're good. And I have one every now and then. But nobody needs a 2-liter of soda a day. You need water. If you get the caffeine headaches and you can stand the taste of coffee, drink a cup of coffee. Or more if you want. But I think that's why it comes off as kind of like, huh? Because we think we have to do things a certain way. We're all like that. We have to write it down because this is what diet worked the first time, and the second time, and the third time. Okay, really stop and think what you just said. I've been on this diet 3 different times, and I've gained weight back 3 different times, which means you've probably gained back 30 to 40 more pounds over what you lost. Did the diet really work? Because you gained it back. Or is it something that you're sitting there with your stomach growling because, well, I can't really eat that, and I really want that, and it's right there, and instead of me just eating a small bit of it, to get the craving away or get the hunger away, I'm going to not eat. The doctor will tell you, eat 6 small meals a day. Every 3 hours, your blood sugar dips. This is for diabetics and non-diabetics. Our blood sugar falls. Basically, what happens is your body goes in starvation mode, and it will cling on to everything that you eat. So if you're really trying to lose weight, you want to kind of keep your blood sugar a little stable. So when you eat every 3 to 4 hours, you're not putting your body into shock. That's pretty much what you're doing. It's like, what the fuck? Eat. Just eat smaller. So I'm going to get on here and I'll talk more about it. But that's kind of the way you've got to retrain the way you think. Because eating no fat, no sugar, no carb is unhealthy for you. You may need to go get your vitamin levels checked. The prescription vitamin D did not work for me. It made things worse. Taking the over-the-counter, 5,000 a day works for me. So, and a whole bunch of other vitamins. Have your vitamin levels checked. If you need to go see Integrative and you can, go do that. See what's up. See what your body needs. You might be surprised that some of this pain that you're feeling actually comes from your vitamins being low. Mine was. It got to the point where my bones were aching. My vitamin D was extremely low. So, that's kind of what you've got to think about. Is the fact that you have to stop worrying about what everyone else is going to say. Because when you're on a diet and you're eating a donut, yeah, I could do that. Because as a whole in society, we we focus on our weight and our age and our class and our gender, and there's no wonder America's obesity rate is an all-time high. There's no wonder. So when you go to when I first started going to the bariatric doctor, well, I'll share this. I thought it was hilarious, and then I was told by a very, very thin, probably have never had a problem with her weight. Maybe she has. That, well, no, you can do, nah, okay. But if you're someone who loves to eat the wrong things and you're a junk food junkie and you love all this other crap you're not supposed to eat for what they're telling you, the poster I saw was 2 shopping carts. And one was filled with your vegetables and your produce and everything you're supposed to do. You're supposed to walk the outside of the grocery store, buy nothing in the middle. And, to me, and then you have the other grocery shop and cart, and it had, your chips and your soda and all that. And it said, show the price. That the produce side was actually cheaper. And from my standpoint, because I have, to budget tight and look into things like that and budget the money and watch my dimes. And I've actually had to go into a grocery store. I had $20 to buy food, and I had my calculator. I bought nothing that was over like $1. This was not at the Dollar Tree either. Really hard to do. So for a person like me, I looked at it and I was like, okay, well, this is how I see it. I have a cart there that could feed my family for a month, or I have a cart over here that could feed them for a week, and it's a possibility that might go bad. Unless I freeze it, unless I forget, because I'm busy and life happens and there's a whole bunch of shit going on. So I had to retrain my brain. Make sure that I blanch it and I freeze it and that kind of stuff if I'm going to buy it. Because it is better. But so is frozen. You can buy frozen, put it in the freezer. You can buy the can. It's not the best. I don't prefer a lot of canned vegetables. But if that's what you do it. You can get those for well under $1. So it's all about retraining your brain, because the people that make those posters are probably making $100,000 or more a year. So to them, that is just a drop in the bucket. To someone like me, that is a week of food times 4 instead of 4 weeks worth of food. So basically, it's all of their advertisement as well, as far as gotta get healthy to that. Because to me, all they're doing is preparing you to do the weight loss surgery. If you do it without it, they would be very happy, but they just know you're going to have the weight loss surgery. And not all doctors are this way. I know that. I just had a very bad experience. But that's what I'm saying. If you want to order pizza, you order pizza and eat 2 pieces of it. You don't need the whole large. Eat 2 pieces, put them up, eat them for lunch, share them with a friend. Get the small one. And like I said, it's really hard to wrap your head around. But you have to add in exercise too. And I know a lot of people dread that, but once you start walking, once you start doing something, you want to keep doing it. You miss it when you're not doing it. So, I just eat the damn chocolate. That's what you want. Because sometimes we want that fucking chocolate. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Bye.